Go ahead and get started here with some over-the-air frequency tuning with the sound bowl. So, full circle. I love circles. One of my favorite symbols is the flower of life. It's all circles. The image alone used to be esoteric, secret type of hidden knowledge throughout the past. It's a very, very old symbol. Dates, we found it all the way back to Sumerian times, which is as the story's told, is the oldest form of writing and knowledge, alphabet, forms of government, social, political structure, all that stuff just pops up out of nowhere. In Sumeria, Babylon, at one point. As the story goes, anyway. But on this episode, full circle, we're gonna touch on all the ideas and all the ideology and programming that we've had of history and knowledge, and we're gonna try to pick at all of it, and I'll give what resonates inside of me as possibilities and truths, just to make you think and question the very same things inside of you, so that you can find your inner discovery of truth and knowledge of what is or has been. So, most creation stories goes to the Bible or the scientific ideology of the Big Bang. It's funny because in essence it's both creation and science who creates this reality, or even the measurable beginning of the Big Bang. Science says the Big Bang all the matter of the known universe was condensed down into a really hot ball about the size of a pea. I like the idea that they're talking about a ball because circle comes to mind. And to draw this pattern, the flower of life, it starts with one circle. And so science says that all the matter in the whole known universe was compacted into one small, dense ball and exploded to create everything you see around you. Hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, all these elements compressed and heated up, and all these reactions with one another to create this reality over billions or trillions of years of rocks colliding, big chunks of rock colliding with one another, to balls of gas condensing and exploding, creating stars and gas planets and asteroids slamming together, making more big rocks and more planets. So we seem to be the order of the chaos of this this story, this creation, this chase for answers from the scientific point of view. The Old Testament, the religious point of view, was 7 days of creation. Each day creating waters, land, separation between water and land, man, woman, the animals, and then light, la-di-da. In essence, it is the combination of both. For the Creator, which the creation story and religious beliefs tries to address, the only problem is taking that literature and the things that are said to think of Creator as a person, place, or thing. You know, the ideology that God is a person, place, or thing, but the use of the term God is already a masculine term, or the feminine term of that would be goddesses. So God and goddesses are not terms to correlate to what we would call that creation energy that one would like to imply as God. That is terms man has used and translated and manipulated over time to try to explain things that they couldn't explain. Creation is geared towards life. This is how a molten piece of rock goes from molten lava to grass and to trees. There's a force, there's an energy that drives all of creation, that gears it towards life. What we know through all of science and the duality that is portrayed in religion is there's two forces. There's always two forces, or a polarity, or a yin and a yang. The first thing we have to do is realize that yin and yang and these two polarity energies are not anything that you could consider good or bad, negative or positive. Even science is straying away from using the term negative because it has a negative connotation to it. So, a negative is required in all things, but that negative helps the positive bind. So I see the yin and yang as source and light, and the black represents that creation energy that is in and around all things. It is the invisible which makes the visible, such as where the creation story talks about God spoke these things into existence because thought is all that is actually required. All creation energy has to do, which is you. It's in you and around you. You are it, experiencing it. The first cause of creation is thought. Thought is the first cause of all things that you see and experience. It's also the first cause of all things that you do and say and project, create, experience. All of these things are part of that first cause, or an archetype, or archangel. The most powerful archangel archetype is thought. That energy is the first motion. It's the first step of the energy in motion that creates. That is the darkness that you see in the sky, is that source creation energy. The invisible plasma around my arms, in between the molecules, all the empty space in an atom. This is that energy which man throughout history have tried to explain as God. This is why you are it, experiencing it. Everything you see in your reality is an agreed construct of what is and what isn't. What you would consider bad that is in our collective experience is merely a projection of things that are still left inside of us that are creating that experience. We are agreeing to the things that we are experiencing. This is why it's time to come to an understanding of what reality is and how it's actually created. Because we have specifically designed everything that's around us to force us the only way possible to find salvation or hope for a future for our children and our grandchildren and all the generations to come. For we are all of the ancestors of the past. They live inside of us. We are made up out of trillions of organisms. Each one is conscious and living. This is the ancestors inside of us, living in us and through us. Your past life is all lives. Everything in the past was you. Hitler, you were Hitler. So the biggest thing that people can't stand to grasp and understanding what oneness truly means. of how all of this fractal pattern is duplicated and consciously observed. People love to have a God and a devil so they can have someone to point the finger at. There's no one to point a finger at. Everything that has ever happened is a part of you. You took part in these things. You continuously take part in all things, always. The change that the world needs is the responsibility that comes with true knowledge of self. The program, the matrix, everything you've been taught since you were born, the system we live in, the day-to-day, get up, go to work, pay bills, die. This is a system. This is shit. This is slavery. This is slavery to the mind, which acts as slavery through the body. We come here to realize who we are, to create. That's what we do. We learn through our creation. That is what Source, the Creator, does. Creates and learns through its creations. This is why you created all the past, and you were these individuals, the good and the bad. You were Jesus, you were Buddha, you were Hitler, you were the elite, the one world government. All of these, they're all inside of you. You did all of these things so you could come to the realization of the power of the mind. This is just merely a school of creation. As creators, you have to learn through your creation. You do that every single day. You learn through the things that you have created for yourself. Quantumly, scientifically, your observation alone collapses all possibilities into matter. You literally create and change energy to matter by observation. That's how powerful you are. So that's easy to understand, that from which you seek from outside of yourself has been inside of you all along. If you were to hide the most powerful energy in the known universe, knowing that one would search far and wide for this energy and this power, the best place to hide it would be inside. They'll never look inside for the energy. They'll never look inside for the answers. They'll never look inside for what you call God. Even my man Jesus said, I and the Father are one. I am one with the Father. I am one with the Source. I am the living light and the living Word made flesh. I am that I am. How could not one perceive the understanding of those words to mean the same thing that you are? There is a fire, a light inside of all things, the rapist, the murderer, all the way to the yogi, the most holiest person that you could ever think that walked across this rock that you were, all the way to what one would judge as the most worst that has ever been created or walked this rock. You are both. Because the energy, the black to the yin and the yang, that creation energy, that source, is in you, which is in all things, all beings. Jesus and the rapist and the murderer, they still have this light, this source inside of them. So in essence, take the idea that you are all beings throughout history and think about all the bad things that you would have done as Stalin and Hitler and as murderers and rapists and pedophiles and all these things that makes an uneasy vibration inside of your vessel when you think of them. You are those things. You have done these things. Now think of all of the good things that had ever happened throughout the known history, where people will rise up with the humanity and help those in need, to all of the prophets and all of the ones they worshipped as gods. You are those things still, here and now and always. So in essence, everything you know of history, no matter what you have done throughout all of history, nothing can change what you are. You are love and light, the yin and the yang, the black and the white. You are those things all at once and always. For the white is just the light. The white is the projection, the visible, the material. This is why you are the universe, experiencing the universe through itself. What looks through your eyes is the source of creation, the viewer that is viewing me right now, the viewer that is viewing my computer screen. That is the creator. It is inside, looking through your eyes, experiencing its creation through you. You cannot be separate from it. There's nothing that you can do to not be it. So, how are you going to express that it that you are? Even the murderer is expressing the love and the light that it is. All things are love and light. I am love light. You are love light. Even in the expressions of anger and killing, all of these are an expression of that love and light with the lack of the ability to correctly express itself. Everything that you would deem bad is just that love and light, what you are as a creator, and your inability to express what you are comes out in what one would determine bad. You still are it expressing it. There's nothing you can do to not be love light. So when you do things in anger and hate and greed, you are still love light. You just are acting in the lack of your true essence. This is why the Buddha said there is no good or bad. That's even why the Bible says not to judge man, not to judge. Because you'll be judging yourself. All the philosophies and all the theologies throughout history, and basically saying treat others as you want to be treated. treat others because they are you. Everyone you see is you. There's no disconnection between you and anyone around you. Quantumly, scientifically, this is proven that everything is connected. It's because all thing comes from the black and that yin and yang, the source, the creation. It is in and around all things. This is why quantumly reality is the way it is. That's the reason why it's a fractal duplication pattern. That's why everything resides inside of you from the beginning, is because of this fractality reality, this fractal projection of light. It's really just a beautiful synchronicity of frequencies that makes geometry. That's fucking awesome. It's just energy that is a frequency that projects geometrical light into everything that you see and experience. This vessel that I am inside of, the vessel you are inside of, the desk, the chair, the microphone, the stars, the planets, the rock that we walk on. Scientifically, you've never touched anything, because an atom is made out of space. Most of an atom is space. That space is that creation frequency, the source. And what's visible is the light. So, scientifically, they said that they said prior to the Big Bang that all matter came into itself and then re-exploded. Well, that is the snake eating its tail. It's just completion of the circle, where the circle touch the next circle. So, if all things exist already, and time is an illusion, light travels faster than we even perceive with our mind, more frames per second than we can see and experience. It's as if we live in the past. The possibility is that the Big Bang, or the explosion of all matter, was actually the constant circle and the uniting of circles, ideas, universes, parallelities, but each burst is all possibilities, and consciousness is in many places on all possibilities, and it chooses its way through its experience back to the center, back to that bang, that coming into itself. And it's a constant cycle. It's where you get the torus field. So there's two energies. There's one that pushes out, that is creation, that is to create. And then there is the inward energy, where it is creation to know itself through itself. Just like the yin and the yang, that constant projection outwards is the light. And that return energy is the black, the source, the creation energy, coming back through the light to know that it is that energy. As beautiful as this rock that we experience in these perfectly attuned biological computer that we call vessels or bodies, which holds that creation energy, which comes from the heart. That energy is constantly pumping through every piece of you. With every pump of the heart has a mind. It has a brain of its own. That's that source energy. It's what drives the vessel. The energy field that comes out of it is infinite. It comes through and bleeds through all things. It is in contact with all things. This is how you are connected to all things, just through the heart that beats inside of your vessel. That energetic connection is entangled through all time and space. When you take the heart and the heart brain and you connect it with your brain, your connection, your consciousness connection to all things on a consciousness level, observing, knowing, it's the master computer to the fractality. When you connect the heart and the mind together, that's where you find salvation. It's where you this is where the energy that heals your body. Once we continue to know ourselves and evolve socially, spiritually, mentally, we'll learn how to make those heart and mind connections, and we will learn all the other methods that's used to attune us and to heal us, that is non-invasive and non-chemical based. Light, sound, thought, word, all these things heal the vessel and heal everything around us. The earth, the water, the air, all of these things are healable through us. Ourselves, every piece of our body is healable through us. As we further grow and evolve, remember who and what we are, where we come from, our ancestors. Once we connect with the ancestors inside of us, and we connect all the stories, such as the indigenous talk about star beings that come down and brought them culture and taught them how to plant and grow food, to make tools and knives and things to hunt with. You know, these things are pretty important for survival. The ancestors had stories of these beings from the heavens, beings from the stars that came down and gave us the secrets of survival and information. Our seed parents, the indigenous, say they give them ceremonial chants and dances and symbols and places on earth that were more energetic than others, where you could gather and amplify that creation energy, power of intention, that thought. Once you grab that whole scope of all the possibilities and understand that you are the seed parents, you are those indigenous, you are every beings that live out in the stars that come here. So we are the aliens to this rock. The way I look at it is, if I could consciously grow and attune myself more to that creation power, to where I create universes and life and galaxies and planets, that one, you would want to experience them, but the question is what you would want to create from your heart for things to experience. So if you found the power of creation, which is an energy that you can't apply words to, if you call it unconditional compassionate love, that barely scratches the surface of this creation energy. The more you can tune with that, the more you ripple through the creation. So if we are constantly creating, as we do every day, we constantly create our day-to-day life and experiences through our thoughts, which ripple out through our words and actions. There is multiple layers through all of creation, frequencies, dimensions, whatever you want to call them. So just as you've created your day-to-day, we do things that create our large cycles that we experience, the planets, the universes that we experience. We create these things at different parts of our existence. This is not the only game that we're playing. This is not the only experience that we're experiencing. We're just tuned in to this experience like a radio station. When you pick a radio station on the radio, you just change the frequency and there's a different song playing. You just are on this station, living through this experience. Just like the earth has many organisms on it. Human life, mammals, fish, all these are just cells to the organism that is the rock that we call Earth. She is living, breathing consciousness. She's conscious. She is conscious. The Earth is conscious and living and breathing, and we're just organisms to it. This is why you can't destroy the earth. We're just little organisms. There's other organisms that fight off bacteria, viruses, just as some of the things that we have done to this rock has been like a plague, a bacteria, or a virus. Well, guess what? It is consciousness and living, and it will have ways to combat the things that we think that we can do to destroy it. This is why awareness goes so far. Once becoming aware of who and what you are, and how what you think, do, and say ripples throughout all of this creation, all of this reality. Once you take that understanding, you get that realization of the things you've done. Forgive yourself. Forgive everyone around you for anything they've done, because these are all projections of you. Understand from that awareness of what is, and then decide what you're going to do to be the change in the world that you would like to see. Do you like clean water? You think the water is being poisoned, or any of these things that you think are detrimental to the environment? Do and think and practice things that changes these things in your own life and your own self. Don't go out and tell everybody that they're wrong and you need to do this and you need to do that. No. You change by being. You shine your light by being the light in your actions and your words and how you interact. That ripples out more than trying to force anyone to see things from your perspective. Learn indigenous ceremony. Do ceremonies for water. Do ceremonies for the air, for the land, for the healing of your friends and neighbors and your loved ones. Do things in your day-to-day. What do you do that affects the water, the air, the health of yourself and your loved ones? I think people are scared of awareness. That's why they like to play the system in the Matrix and like to play the blame game on God or devil or angels or demons or my neighbor or the politician. That's why everybody wants to blame these things, is because it's easier that way than it is to take responsibility for who and what you are. Because with that comes awareness, and as that awareness comes struggle and forgiveness. But the only constant you're guaranteed in life is change. Things are constantly going to change. So this energy is going to push the change, or you can flow with the water and be the change and affect the change consciously, because you affect the change regardless. You are it, constantly in motion, constantly changing and experiencing and growing through every life of a human, an animal, a plant. All these things, each revolution is an evolution of consciousness, of the information that exists. That's what exists in the light. That light projection is all the information of all known existence. That's why it's inside of you also. The light that is inside of you, that's what you see as the vessel, the body, all this thing is the information of the whole known universe, of every experience ever. This projection, this density, is the information. It is in you over and over trillions and times over. This information is inside of you. That is the projection of the vessel and of the body. And then that energy that beats through your heart, that is in the plasma around you, that holds all the things together, the darkness and the space, is that creation energy, the source. And all the light, all the material, all of the atoms, it's just that information of that energy's experience. Just like your cell phone and a computer saves information on a hard drive, or on those little micro USBs or a USB drive. You guys, 2019 understand storage space more than you would have 15 years ago if I was saying that. So data is saved on us on hard drives, and the hard drive on your cell phone, and USB drives and CD-ROMs. The universe saves information in light. The whole projection that you experience is that information. All the information that one could ever want to know. All the information that one wouldn't want to know. All of the experience that's ever been experienced is saved in the light that we see as stars and planets and plants, atoms, people. It's everywhere. This is why you can't be absent of the yin and yang, not good or bad, not negative, positive. Source and light. love and light. That love, that black, that source, that energy that beats out of your heart through all things is what we would call love, but not that program shit love that everybody thinks is that attachment love. This is unconditional, non-judgmental, non-attached love. Means I love you no matter what you do. No matter what. That is the source energy. That is that creation energy, that black, that darkness, that invisible plasma around us. And then what you see around us is merely the experience of that energy, the information of that energy saved into the projection, so that it can continually duplicate to know itself further. Consciousness grows through us. The source of creation knows itself better through us, just as we, as it, know ourselves better from what we find inside and not what has been projected outwardly towards us through religion and TV and politics and school. All of these things are programming projections outside of ourselves. Always since you were born on this rock, your parents unwillingly been programming you that you must use words and language to communicate. But that's not necessarily true. Imagine telepathic communication is closer to our original blueprint. If we are connected to all things, then we can communicate with all things. You'll find that a lot of research has been done on psychics and clairvoyancy and all this metaphysical or superstitious stuff that people would portray as crazy, blah blah blah. Well, there's plenty of research you can find. They've been doing it for close to over 100 years now, studying these things, and the government, the American government actually uses remote viewing as a thing. Like, they find people who are more particularly geared towards those natural abilities that we have, and they use them to remote view locations and to get information, cause we are all things connected to all things. Well, this is the type of abilities that we all pertain, and as we socially evolve to encompass what we are, then we will be more attuned to these natural abilities, and our offspring will be taught that these things are possible, and therefore is greater growth and impetus towards this continuous evolution. So I could say at one point we will socially evolve, maybe millions or billions of years from now, to the point to where we create more planets and more life in other places, just out of the pure love of experience. I'd like to have a planet that has like a Saturn, like a big planet with rings. I want to see like 3 planets at night in the sky. They're like cool and colorful and pretty close, like bigger than the moon. Go with like probably different colored grass, different colored sky. You know, maybe an orange sky, purple grass. So I could see evolution of consciousness and layers and experiences, that urge to create more and different things. You're continuously creating. The act of observation is creating. Thoughts are creation. But what do you do every day? that's creating. Probably giving that creation energy away mostly to create something for someone else that doesn't deserve it. Giving your life energy away all the time to the matrix because we don't understand how we affect our reality. We have been programmed into a cancer, consumers. The system is based on debt and consumerism. It is a cancer. This is why we have cancer in our society, because we have become a cancer with our day-to-day life. Go to work, pay bills, all this political bullcrap, all this separation from religion and race, all this bullshit is cancer. It all comes from the lack of knowing who and what we are. This is why it's so important for you to understand who and what you are, to take these steps in this social evolution to teach your children who and what they are, so that we can continuously evolve on the right path as a species on this rock, as a collective organism on the organism of our planet, which is just a cell in the universe, in the galaxy. And then these are just cells in the whole universe, as above and so below. So yeah, historically, human history on this rock, we've had living life on here for hundreds of thousands of years. I'm sure there's been visitors from out all of the known universe. Just as we modify and alter plant species in our current technological age, we have been more technologically advanced in the past. We have done other things to manipulate genetics of ourselves and of all the life on this planet at some stage or at some point, one way or another. Either it's from the actions of the things that we put in the air or the land, or to a scientific level of splice and dice. We have that creation geared inside of us to continuously create different things, different reasons to experience. So as we can evolve and awaken to who and what we are and change those creations and gear them towards harmonious things, there's no need for war. That's retarded. Fighting over visible lines in the ground and resources that are mostly not needed in the technological age of today. So this system has enslaved our minds and our bodies, and we continuously create the reality that we have. So to change this reality, we have to continuously remember and discover and seek who and what we are inside, and allow that to ripple through our thoughts, words, and actions. Therefore, having a monumental change in the projection of this co-creation that we call reality. We've simply created it this way so that we would get to this evolutional point in a cycle of cycles. That's why it's full circle. It's took all lives that I've ever experienced to be here now. Remember exactly what I said. For I am you, telling you what you need to hear to remember who you are. Sure, I'm happy to be who I am and to experience and see the things that I get to see and experience. So, do we have any questions, comments, reactions? Everything has come full circle. Here I am. I am here. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. Thank you guys, to everybody who joined me tonight, all the first time visitors. I hadn't done a podcast in a while. Like I said, I tried to do one on live probably a month and a half ago, and it didn't work out, but now I've got my software back up. I love doing these. I like to do more. I started doing a presentation called Think Frequencies, Speak Life. It's about 2.5 hour presentation. I've done it a couple times. I'm gonna try to get out and do more of those. Like to do some traveling. If you or anybody has or knows any spiritual centers or type of places that host presentations, I'd be interested in coming and doing a presentation called Think Frequencies, Speak Life. It's got it's a full circle information type thing that ties quantum mechanics and science and philosophy from Christianity to Hermetic teachings, frequencies, and how and why all that matters. A whole lot of information just kind of crammed in about 2 hours, and then about a half hour or so of why that all matters. So yeah, if you guys know of any centers or places that would like to host presentation, you guys can hit me up on my Facebook. I think I'm gonna do a donate thing soon, so if any of you guys are interested in keeping these things more steady, you can donate $1 or $2 to help keep the website up and keep the software so I can broadcast at least every 2 weeks or so. That's part of the extended duration of no episodes. I have learned that we gain energy by producing, by creating. As creators, we are more of ourselves as we create. I love talking about how reality works, the meaning of life, and I like digging up information and seeking knowledge and fellowshipping. I love talking with other people about the things that I talk about on the podcast or my presentation, and bouncing back and forth in open heart, open mind matter. I can't stand arguing or condescending things. I'm very susceptible to energy. I can pick up energy from Facebook comment or somebody who thinks something anywhere. I can feel it inside of me. I feel my own thoughts inside of me. Each thought, I feel the frequency and how it resonates through my body. So I stay to myself a lot, but I definitely enjoy the right company, good company with good energy. The way I don't have to be more bubbled up. And so that's why open mind, open heart conversation always matters. I don't care if anyone disagrees with me. You just don't have to be angry or mad about it or condescending towards anyone because of what they see, think, or believe. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I do these podcasts to make people question. Don't take my word for anything. I want you to question and seek answers. We've always just taken what was told to us by our parents and our teachers and our history books and our politicians and all these things. We have to let go of that and let go of blame and seek to know for ourselves so that we can be the evolution that is required now at this point in time. You are here and now so that you could do these very things. Remember who you are and make the changes in and around you to make the new earth, the new dimensional earth, whatever, the prophecy, the second coming of Christ, all these things are you right now. It's full circle. Well, once again, you are here to be the change, to remember. You remember who you are yet? Well, I appreciate everyone joining. I had a good time. You guys come back and see me. Peace and love. Namaste.